Hi, everyone. This is Ms. Bergen. I am just letting you know that we are toward the end of chapter 1. So it is very important, again, that you are learning your multiplication facts, especially for next chapter as well. It will really help you. Because we're going to be going into division, and it's really important that you know your multiplication facts because it will make division so much faster and easier if you understand it. Also, I am going to be going over 1.10 today, 1.11, and if I have time, I'm going to be doing the chapter review. Now, before I do the chapter review with you guys, I want you to try it on your own, and then after you try it, then you can go back and check with my video to see if you guys understood it or not. So make sure that you were first trying it, and then we'll come back to it. So now I'm going to start 1.10. 1.10 seems to be like one of, the ones that kids really like because you're just writing out expressions. You're not doing any type of solving them. You are just making up expressions. So I'm going to get to that right now. I'm going to turn around my camera. All right, so first thing, it says a numerical expression is a mathematical phrase that has numbers and operations, signs, but does not have an equal sign. That is very, very important to remember. Expressions, so especially on like your home, at these like review questions right here, you are going to see a lot of questions that say, give me the numerical expression of this. That means don't solve it if it wants a numerical expression. They don't want an equal sign. They don't want you to solve it. They just want to know what you would do to solve it. So for those of you who don't remember, I am skipping 1.9. So you did not do anything wrong. I am skipping 1.9. I'm going right into 1.10. So here we go. Tyler caught 15 small bass, and his dad caught 12 small bass in a memorial bass tourney in, I don't know how to say that, PA. So write a numerical expression to represent how many fish were caught in all. So what you need to do is to choose which operation you have to use to figure out how much they caught in all. Well, they caught 15, but that wasn't it. They also did 12 small bass as well. So Tyler caught this and his dad caught this. So how would we figure out how much that is in all? We would have to add them. So you would just say 15 plus 12. So then that would be your answer, 15 plus 12. So you're not solving it. You're just telling me what you would do to figure it out. All right, so next, write an expression to match the words. So here's another one. Emma has 11 fish in her aquarium and she buys 4 more. So what would you have to do to figure that out? You would do 11 would already be in there plus the one that she buys more of. She bought 4 more, so then your expression would just be 11 plus 4. Again, no equal sign, and you're not solving. You are just putting down the expression. Next, Lucia has 128 stamps, and she uses 38 stamps on party invites. So they want you to know, how would you do this? Well, she had 128, and then she uses 38 of them. So if you're using them, you are going to be subtracting them away. And then how much were used? There were 38 that were used. So it would have been 128 minus 38. Next, Carla buys 5 books and each book cost $3. So how much did each book cost? They cost $3 a book. But how many books did she buy? She only bought 5. So 5 times 3 is how you would do that. Next, 4 players share 52 cards equally. So 4 players share 52 cards equally. So what is being shared? The thing that is being shared is 52 cards. And then they are going to divide those 52 cards amongst how many players equally? That would be 4. So we are going to be dividing them amongst 4 players. So that is the expression on that. Next, it says the meaning of the words in the problems will tell you where to place the parentheses in an expression. So first it says, here's one, it says, write which expression matches the meaning of the words. Doug went fishing for 3 days. Each day he put $15 in his pocket, and at the end of each day he had $5 left. How much did he spend by the end of the trip? So you should underline the events that happen just for each day. So for each day, what happens? So first, each day he puts in $15 into his pocket, and then at the end of each day, he only has $5 left. So they want to know what would happen at the end of the trip. So this is what happens each time. He comes with $15, and then he only has $5 left. So therefore, what should you do? You should have $15 minus 5, because that's going to tell you how much he spent during each day. But then it says by the end of the trip. So this is, again, per day. And how many days were the trip? It was 3. So you just times it by 3 to figure out the entire, how much he would do for the entire trip. So that would be the expression. Next, it says Kim has $20 and spends to spend on her fishing trip. She spends $12 on a fishing pole, then she finds $3. How much money does she have now? So first they want you to list everything in order. So first she had $20. Then next, what had happened? She spent $12. So spends $12. So I like to always put it in here what happens here. So she spends $12. So remember that means minus $12. And then what happens? She finds $3. So finds $3, which means now she's going to be adding 3. If you find $3, you're adding 3 to your amount. So then they want us to figure out which one matches this. So this is what is going on. So now let's figure out what is going on. Now, the thing that you need to know about this is that, I don't know if I ever went into this, and Mr. Brian probably taught you this. It's called order of operations, which is going to be our very next lesson that I'm going to be talking about. So the first thing that you should be looking for is any parentheses. That is definitely the first thing to do. So I always have a saying, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So excuse means exponents are for the E. The M and the D go together because it's whichever comes first. So it is multiplication and division are next. And here's the biggest thing. It's whichever comes first. So if division comes first, that is what you got to do first over multiplication. And then the same with addition and subtraction. A stands for addition, and then subtraction is Addition and subtraction are the last things that you look for. And again, it's whichever comes first. So in this case, when we are solving this, we should be first looking for any parentheses. So is there parentheses? Well, yes, there is. So we should be doing that first. So 12 plus 3 is 15. And then you subtract off, well, you just bring down whatever you don't use, which was the 20 minus 15. And that comes out to be 5. When you subtract that, that would equal $5. So now let's go ahead and do this to see if we are going to be getting $5 like it is saying. So if you have $20 and you subtract off 12, let's do that over here. Can't do that, so you come over and borrow. That would be a 10. This would be an 8 now. And then you add the 3 to it. 8 plus 3 is 11. Are you getting what you should have received? No. So did these words match the expression? No, it did not. They did not come out to be equal to each other. This one came out to be 11 if we did it that way, and this one came out to be, we're supposed to look for 5. So now we'll look here. Kim has $20 to spend on her fishing trip. She spends $12 on a fishing pole and $3 on bait. How much money does she have now? So now we're going to list the things in order again. So again, she has $20. First, she spends $12. So she spends that on a fishing pole. And then the next thing she does is she also is spending an additional $3. So that is even more money that she is spending. So what we could do here, because she spends not just 12, she also spends $3. So we could actually add that up to figure out how much she spent total. So that was $12 from the fishing pole plus the $3 that she spent for the bait. So that comes out to be $15 total that she spent. So now we can see, all right, so at the store, at this fishing store, she bought $15 worth of stuff, and she started with $20. So does that match what this is saying? Yes, it is. That is why you are adding, because she didn't just buy $12 worth of stuff, she bought more stuff that was a total of $15. So that one does work out, and it comes out to be $5. So did that match? Yes, it did. All right, next. Oh, one more thing I do want to go over real fast, and it's very important. I forgot to go over this. Guys, if you do this wrong, a lot of people just want to say, oh, I know what it is because I see it written like this in my head, and I should be writing it out like this. That this is the same as saying this, and it is not, and I want you guys to understand. You saying this and you saying this are two totally different things. Remember what I was saying in the previous lesson is whatever is written first is what goes in the box. So if you write it out like this, it is truly saying 52 goes in the box and the 4 is your divisor. But if you say this, you're actually saying the 4 goes into the box and the 52 goes on the outside. So these are totally not the same thing. And a lot of people think that it's the same thing, and they are not saying the same thing. So do watch out. Remember, whatever is supposed to be in your box, make sure you are writing that first. We are going to be getting into problems like this later on in the year. So don't think that you will never see this, because you will be starting to see this in, I think, chapter 4. So it's coming as well. So do keep that in mind. They are totally different, so be careful of that. And this one is going to come out to be a whole number, where this one is actually going to come out to be a decimal. And like I said, we will talk about this later, because 52 cannot go into 4, so it's actually becoming a decimal, and we'll talk about that more later. So they are not the same thing, so please be careful of how you write that. All right, now going back to here, it said Terry had 18 worms. She gave 4 worms to Susie and then 3 worms to Jamie. So they want to know which one is correct in this. So what is very important to know is that she had 18 to start off with. And then it says she gave 4 worms to Susie and 3 worms to Jamie. So really, did she just give up 4 and then she got 3 more from Jamie? Or did she give away 4 to Susie and 3 to Jamie? So how much did she really give up? She actually really gave up 7. So you could have added those two to say how much did she give up total, and that would have been 7. So this one is saying what you should have done, where this one is actually saying she only gave up 4 but then got 3 more from Jamie, and that is not true. So the thing that matches is this one. So you just got to watch out on the wording. All right, Rick had $8, and then he worked 4 hours for $5 each hour. So whenever you see this, guys, where somebody has worked something for money, they will always say for how long and what they are making per hour. Well, guys, I will tell you right now, these need to go together, because 4 hours and $5 each hour, they're telling you how much they made during that process. So the 4 and the 5 actually need to go together, because that's what it's talking about. It's telling you how much they're getting an hour. So 5 and 4 actually are going to be going together. So which one shows where 5 and 4 are going together? It is actually this one. So yeah, they're working 4 hours, $5 an hour. So that is $20 here. And then he had $8. So that would be a total of 28. Where this one, what this one is saying is that he got $8 and then he worked for 4 hours. So that's actually showing $12. And then he's going to get $5 an hour. It makes it look like he just worked for 12 hours. So you got to be really careful on what is being said here, because it makes this one look like he worked for 12 hours and he got $5 an hour, which is not even what this is saying. So you got to be really careful about what is going on. All right, now this one just says you're going to write an expression to match the words. So Greg drives 26 miles on Monday and 90 miles on Tuesday. So how are we going to find out how many miles that he did in this time frame? So he drives 26 on Monday and 90 on Tuesday. So to figure out how much he went altogether, you would just simply do 26, and then you would add in what he did on Monday, which was 90. And that was the end of that one. Linda has 27 fewer fish than Jack. Jack has 80 fish. So a lot of people are like, oh, fewer, that means subtract. Well, that's easy. I'm going to say 27 minus what Jack has. Well, guys, if you do this, this actually is going to come out to be a negative, because you start off with 20. Like, you could think of it as you have $27 and then you owe your parents $80. Well, you are going to be in the negative if you try to give them $80. You don't have it. You're going to be in the negative. You're still going to owe them money. And that is not how this is saying. This is saying he has 27 fewer than Jack. So first you got to write out what Jack has first, which is Jack has 80. And then you find out how much by subtracting off 27. So that is what you are doing there. Next, it just says write words to match this expression. Guys, there could be a billion things out there that you can say to make any type of words based off of this. So I'm just going to give you an example. Jack has 34 cookies and gave, so then you're going to subtract off 17. So you can say, and he gave away 17. There are so many things that you could say out there that it's truly, you could go on forever making ones just like that. There's just so many things that could be said. So the next, now do you see how this is in parentheses? So you probably want to say something about that first, and then you could say, oh, Annie did it 6 times. So here is what you could say. Glenn had 12 basketballs and gave away 4 each day. And then you could say he did this for 6 days. There's so many things that you could have said. Like you could have even have said cookies. He had 12 cookies and he gave away 4 to his little brother, but he did this for 6 days or 6 meals. You could say so many different things. So when it says to write words to it, you just make up something out of your mind or things that happen at home or whatever. It could be something totally made up, and you could just put it in there. All right, next it says Jose shared 12 party favors equally among 6 friends. So if he is going to be sharing, that is a good indication that that is division, and it says equally. So there we go. There is a definite that we are going to be dividing here. So what does he have to give out to everybody? He has the party favors. So he has 12 party favors, and then he is going to divide them amongst how many people? He is going to give it to 6 people. So that is the expression for this. Next, Braden has 15 baseball cards, and then he finds 5 more baseball cards. So he had 14 to begin with, and then what happens? He finds 5 more. Well, if you find 5 more, you're actually, you should be like, oh, that's adding 5, and that is correct. You are adding 5 more. Next, Isabel bought 12 bottles of water at $2 a piece or each. So some people like to write what it is for one. And then, so then what is it for one? It is $2 for a water bottle. And how many were bought? There were 12. Now you could like go and say 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, like 12 times. Or to make this faster, you could have done 2 times 12. Or you could have flipped it around and said 12 times 2. And that is fine. Next, Monique had $20 and she spends $5 on lunch. and $10 at the bookstore. All right, so here's one of those other ones. So she spent not just $5, but she also bought $10 worth of stuff at the bookstore. So she didn't just spend $5, she spent $5 and then an additional $10. So what you could do is you could actually add this up to see how much was spent altogether. It wasn't just $5, it was 5 plus 10, so that was actually spending $15. So she had 20, so you would say she started off with 20 and then spent not just 5, but an additional 10, so that would have been $15. So that is just a way that you could have wrote it out. Also, what you could have done, some people would have chose to do 20 minus 5, and then told people to do this first, and then you could have subtracted off another 10. That is also another way you could have done it as well. So either of those ways would have been correct. Next is match the words again. So you could again come up with anything. You could have said there are 36 slices of pizza. Or 9 friends to share equally. So you could have said that. Here it says that this is actually in parentheses, so keep that in mind. So you could have done like one of these up here. You could have said, John has $35. He went to the store and bought a $16 shirt and $11 shorts. There you go. So he went to the store, he bought not just a $16 shirt, but an $11 shirt. So then you would have to add those together and then subtract it from 35 to see how much he should have left. All right, next. Here we go. This is going to, my advice to you is just you're going to match up these over here. What I personally would do is I would go and probably figure out what each one should come out to be. I think it's a lot easier to see it that way versus, you know, just trying to do it in your head. So here we go. Fred catches 25 fish. Then he releases 10 fish and then catches 8 more. So we should come over here and see which ones are talking about 25 fish to begin with. Oh, here it is. So what is going on? He releases 10 fish. So which one is showing that he is going to subtract off 10? Oh, this one does. And then it says he catches 8 more. So he's going to add 8 more to it. So this one makes sense versus this is saying that he had released not only 10, but an additional 8. So that he actually released 18, which is not what had happened. So actually this goes with this one. Next, Nick has 25 pens. He gives 10 pens to one friend and 8 pens to another. So he didn't just give away 10, he gave away a total of 18 to both of his friends. Well, this one is saying, yes, he didn't just give up 10, he gave up a total of 18. So this matches here. Jan catches 15 fish and lets 6 fish go. So which one is showing us having 15 and then letting 6 go? It should be right here because you are going to subtract off 6. And then last, Libby catches 15 fish and lets 6 go, and she does this for 3 days in a row. Which one should that be showing? Is right here. Lets it go, let 6 of them go, but did it for 3 times or 3 days. So that is what that is. All right, next. The next thing that we are going to be talking about is up here. It says, write an expression to represent the total number of lemon tetras that could be in a 20-gallon aquarium. So if you look over here, it says, this is saying the rule for the number of fish in an aquarium is to allow 1 gallon of water for each inch of length. So here, each length is 2 inches. So we need a gallon per each length. So if we are going to do this for 20 gallons, you should have said, all right, 20 gallons. And then we are going to divide that amongst 2 inches per this one. So that is what they wanted you to do there. Next, it says there is tiger barbs in 15-gallon aquarium and giant dinios in 30-gallon aquarium. Write an expression to represent the greatest total number of fish that could be in both. So, in both aquariums. So therefore, if you looked here, the 15-gallon one was with the tiger fish. So you would do 15 gallons, and then the tiger fish is 3 inches. So therefore, you would have to divide this amongst 3 inches. So that is to tell you this aquarium. And then the next one is talking about giant danios in a 30-gallon. So we have a 30-gallon tank, and then we are going to divide that amongst how long a danio is, and that is 5. So then we would divide this amongst 5. However, it says write an expression to find the greatest total number of fish that could be in both of these aquariums. So once we figure out this and this, how am I going to figure out how much they could go in both of these? Then you would have to add that. All right, next, write a word problem for this expression that is 3 times as great as this. Then write an expression. All right, so we are going to write, so it's saying it's going to be 3 times as great as this. So you could have put it here, or you could have reversed this and said the 3 times on this side. So what I could have done, it says write a word problem. I could have said Max has 15 pizzas and Gabe orders 7 more. And 7 more pizzas for a party. Then you can say the party happens 3 times bought 30 tokens when he arrived at the festival. He won 8 more tokens. So he bought 30, he won 8 more tokens for getting a highest score at the basketball contest. But then he lost 6 tokens at the ring toss. Write an expression to find out the number of tokens he has left. All right, so it says he bought 30. So we are starting out with 30. And then he won 8 more. So if you won 8, you're going to be adding 8 to that. So add 8 to that. And then what happens next? He lost 6. So when you lose, you're actually going to be subtracting off 6. So then you would subtract 6 off, and that's how you would find it using that. All right, next. Here is your homework. Your homework can be 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to do one of these with you, and then you're going to do number 6 for me. Don't worry about number 7, and you will do 8 and 9, and then don't worry about 10. So we're going to do number 5 together. So again, they had like a 4 times 12. Remember, like that could be like 4 hours and getting like $12 an hour. So you can say that. And then you could say that the person also had $3 to begin with. So that is basically what I'm going to be saying. Sue has $3 from allowance. And then, and babysits her brother for 4 hours at $12 an hour. And there you go. You could have said that. So that is what you could have said there. So what I want you to do is just keep in mind, do what it says. This one just says, write the expression. So right here, I just want the expression, do not solve. Again, write the expression, do not solve. This one says, write words to match the expression. You're just going to come up with a quick story problem. And these are all just expressions. So you are not solving anything on any of these. All right, so then the next page, real quick, I'm going to do the first one with you. It says Jenna bought 3 packs of water bottles with 8 bottles in each pack. Then she gave 6 bottles away. Write an expression to match these words. So some people do better if they have a picture that goes along with it. So here's 3 packs of water. Okay, so there's 3 packs of water, and inside each of them have 8. So in order to figure out how much that is, you could simply just do 8 plus 8 plus 8, or you could have also have done the quick way, which is 8 times 3. So we could have said 3 times 8 or 8 times 3, it doesn't matter. So or 8 times 3, whatever way you wanted to say that. And then they gave 6 bottles away. So then if you're giving away bottles, you are subtracting that off. So you could have said either of these 2. So you are going to do number 2 for homework. I'm going to do this one with you. To find this, Josh rewrote the expression like this. What property did he use when he rewrote that expression? Well, if you look, what he had done was only switched the order around is all he did. So remember with orders, what property that allows you just to switch the order of the number is commutative. So just write that down. This is the commutative property of addition. All right, next you are going to do 4 and 5. And we are going to do number 6 together real fast. Barbara mixes 54 ounces of granola and 36 ounces of raisins, and then she divides that mixture into 6-ounce servings. How much servings does she make? All right, so first it's telling you she's going to mix the ounces of granola, and she has these ounces of raisins. So what they wanted you to do is first figure out, when they're making granola, it looks like she's going to make granola bars. So you want to take out all of these, you want to add up all those ounces, and then once you do that, then you're going to divide it amongst 6 servings. So we are going to first add off to the side. This would be 10, carry your 1. This is 6 plus 3 is 90. So this is actually saying 90. Remember, parentheses go first. Then divide by 6. So if you did this, 90 goes in the box, 6 goes on the outside, 6 goes into 9 one time. That would be 6. Subtract, that would be a 3. Check it, we are smaller, so now we can bring down our next number. Then how many 6s go into 30? That would be 5. So 5 times 6 now is 30 with 0 remaining. Our answer is 15 servings. Okay. So then just make sure you do these, and then you can also turn them in or take pictures just like you guys have been doing, or have your parents bring them inside the foyer at the school and drop them off there as well. So either one is fine. All right, now the next thing that I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to try and do it all in one video if that is possible. It is the order of operations. Now guys, I will be very honest with you. A lot of people have it wrong in their head still, and you need to make sure that you are doing this right. Now I do have a saying, of course, me and my savings. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Now I'm going to talk about each one of these. Order of operations is a very important thing to know too, because just a simple mistake in how you add and stuff, or how you decide what is going first, you can have the same thing but get 2 different answers. So be very careful, and you got to follow these rules. This is called the order of operations. So the order of operations, this is going to be the rules, and we're going to talk real fast. So remember that the numerical expressions of a mathematical phrase that uses only numbers and operation symbols is right here. So these are all numerical expressions. To evaluate or find the value of these with more than just one type of operation, you have to follow the rules called order of operations. The order of operations tells you what order you should do to find the value of this expression. So if you see something like this, or this, or this, there are rules to make sure you are doing them properly. And a lot of people forget these rules or do these rules wrong. So I want to talk to you about this. This is how my saying that I do say to remind me to keep in order. So first, PM please means the very first thing that you are going to be looking for is the P stands for parentheses. So that is rule number 1. You are going to perform all parentheses. Then rule number 2, which they don't have right now, but it is next, excuse, the E stands for exponents. Remember, we talked about exponents. Those are those little numbers. Like, for example, if you saw 10 to the second power, this is your exponent. That is the second thing you look for. Now, why don't they have it in here? It's because you're more than likely not going to see exponents in any of these expressions until next year. But I'm going to get you ready for even next year. So I'm going to start you doing this right. So please excuse the third thing you do. Now, this is where a lot of people go wrong. My and dear. It means multiplication and division, whichever comes first. So all, whichever comes first. So all multiplication and division. So all multiplication and division, whichever comes first, is next. And this is where a lot of people will go wrong. They think that since my is before dear, that we have to do all multiplication first, then division. And that is not true. It is all addition and, all multiplication and division have to be done going whatever comes first, going left to right. So, and then the same thing here, Aunt and Sally stand for A and S, stand for all, addition and subtraction is last. And then it's whichever comes first. So if subtraction comes first, then you're going to be subtracting before you add. A lot of people think since Aunt Sal is before Sally that you have to look for all addition first, then subtraction is last, and that is false. It's whichever comes first. So it's very important that you remember that. All right, so here we go. A bread recipe calls for 4 cups of wheat flour and 2 cups of rye flour. To triple the recipe, how many cups of flour are needed in all? So what they did is they did 3 times the 4 and then plus 3 times the 2. Now this is what they did. Gabriella did not follow the order of operations correctly. So let's see what she did. It said first she added. So she added here and put this down. And then she just went across and then multiplied. Well, now let's do it and follow the order of operations. So do you see how we could have the same exact thing, same exact problem, but then because we did the order wrong, we then make this wrong. So let's go over here. Now we're going to do it correctly. Follow the order of operations. So you're going to put your name here. So Mrs. Berg, and you're going to put down yours, or you can put your name down there. So first, let's follow the order of operations. Again, the first thing that we look for is any parentheses. There are no parentheses. So what I do with my students is I tell them, please excuse my dear. I always put this on the same level so that you are reminding that it is all multiplication and division, whatever comes first. And same with addition and subtraction. I put them on the same line because, again, it is whatever comes first. So this is the first thing, the second thing, the third thing to look for, and then the fourth thing to look for. So first thing is parentheses. Is there any parentheses? No. So we can check it off. Next thing, any exponents in here? No. Then any multiplication or division? Yes. So this is where it comes into play. Now, how do I figure out which numbers to be multiplying? It's whatever numbers are on either side of that multiplication. So do you see that there was a 3 and a 4 on either side? This is what you are going to be doing. So What is 3 times 4? Is 12. Then bring down everything else down that you did not use. So then again, is there any more multiplication or division? Well, yes, there is. Here is my multiplication sign. So either number on either side of it comes with that. So it's 3 times 2 is 6. Then you bring down everything else. And now, is there any more multiplication or division? No, so I can check that off. Any addition or subtraction? Yes. And then this comes out to be a total of 18. So therefore, there would be 18 cups of flour that are needed. So then it says, explain why Gabriella's answer is not correct. Well, what did she do first? First, she added. And then are we supposed to add first? No, we're supposed to do all multiplication first. So we will say, she added first and she should have multiplied first. All right, so there's that. Next page. All right, it says to evaluate an expression with parentheses, follow the order of operations and perform the operations in parentheses first, multiply from left to right, and then you're always going to go left to right, and then add and subtract from left to right. So you're always looking at this as if you're reading something. You always go left to right. All right, so here we go. Each batch of granola Lena uses 3 cups of oats, 1 cup of raisins, and 2 cups of nuts. Lena wants to make 5 batches of this granola. So how many cups of oats, raisins, and nuts will she need in all? So it's saying just 1 batch, each batch. That just means 1. So if she has 1, she is not only going to have 3 cups of oats, she's also going to have 1 cup of raisins and 2 cups of nuts. So that is why those are in parentheses, because this is just showing 1. But is she only going to make 1 batch of this? No, it already says she's going to make 5. So we can just do 5 times to find that. So the first thing that we should do here is, again, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So the first thing is parentheses. Is there any parentheses here? Yes, there is. So we are going to do all of this inside first. So 3 plus 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So that is 6. And then is there any more parentheses? No, there are not. And so then you go on to the next. Is there any exponents? No. Any multiplication or division? Yes. So that is next. So your answer is 30 cups. Now, it says, what if Lena makes 4 batches? Will this change the numerical expression? Well, if it's 4 batches, will it change it? Yes, it would. And here is why. Each batch is still going to be the same. She's still going to do this per batch. The only thing that's going to change up is, instead of she making 4 batches, she's going to now make 4 batches instead of that 5. So the only thing that is going to change up is this times 5. So it is now going to be times 4 instead. Or you could have put times 4 on this side, and it would have been the same thing. All right, the next thing, it says rewrite the expression using parentheses to equal the given value. All right, guys, this is where it becomes really important. So important to use a pencil. on this, especially on these ones, because what they want you to do is put parentheses somewhere here and see if it comes out to be equal to this. And this is where you're going to have to sit here and play around with it a little bit. So here we go. It says you're going to put this down, and then you're going to put parentheses somewhere to make this come out to be 141. So some people may choose to put parentheses around certain things. So I'm going to try it right here. What is 12? Remember, when we are doing this, we're still doing please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So since I put parentheses around here, it's going to force me to do this first. Well, now I'm going to come over here and figure out what 12 times 8 is. That is 16 plus your 1. That would be 8 plus 1 is 96. Then I'm going to bring everything else down I did not use. So is there any more parentheses? No. Any exponents? No. Any multiplication or division? No. Any addition or subtraction? Yes, I have both, but it's whatever comes first, going left to right. So as if I'm reading, what comes first? It is addition. So I'm going to do this. That comes out to be 102. And then I'm going to subtract off the 3. That comes out to be 99. Is that what I wanted? No. So this is where it is really important that you have an eraser, because you are probably not going to get it right every single time. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, let's try this over here. Let's try and putting it around here and see if that does anything for me. So now I'm going to force myself to do this, because remember, parentheses need to go first. So this is going to be 18, then times 8 minus 3. So then is there any more parentheses after that? No. Any exponents? No. Any multiplication or division? Yes. So now I'm going to force myself to do that. 18 times 8 is next. 8 times 8 is 64. Carry your 6. So then 8 times 1 is 8. Plus 6 is 14. So we have 144. Then you're going to bring down everything you did not use, which was a minus 3. So 144 minus 3 comes out to be a 1, a 4, and a 1. So that would be 141, which is exactly what I wanted. So where do I need to put my parenthesis to make sure it comes out to be 141? I had to put it right around here. So this is called guessing and checking. You're going to guess where you think it could be. So remember how I guessed being around here. When I checked it, it was not right. So then I had to go and play around with it. So guys, do make sure that you are doing that. Be very careful. So then here's another one. I am going to now be given this, and I want it to come out to be 11. So I'm going to first guess something. I'm going to guess putting it around here first. Let's see if that comes out to be right. So when you do that, that would be 33. But then it says next, if you bring everything else down, the next thing would be, again, with please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, all the parentheses are gone. Excuse, no exponents are there, any division or multiplication. Yes, so I would do that first. But look, 7 can't go into 33 evenly. So that is going to be super hard to do. But here's another thing that you could also look at. Could I have put this around and said 7 minus 4 is 7 minus 4 is 3. Now, is this going to be okay? And then how many 3's go into 33? That would be 11, and that is what I wanted. So the only thing is that not only did it need to be a parenthesis around here, it needed to be a parenthesis around here in order for it to come out to be 11. So there is a possibility you may find it may need 2 sets of parentheses to make it come to be that number. So do keep that in mind. All right, now I'm going to go back into my, with my pen. So it says evaluate each numerical expression. Again, use please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. You have to do this all the time. So whenever you see something like this and you have different operations and different numbers, you must use please excuse my dear Aunt Sally to do this. So first thing, is there any parentheses? Nope, so I can check that off. Any exponents? Nope. Any multiplication or division? Yes. So here's my division sign. So I'm going to look at each number before and after it to see what my full division problem is. So how many 9s go into 36? Well, that would be 4. And then you bring down everything you did not use. I did not use the plus sign and I did not use the 10. So then any more multiplication or division? Nope, so we're done. Any addition or subtraction? Yes. So then our answer would be 10 plus 4 is 14. So our answer is 14 on this. And that is how you use order of operations, because you could have totally have done it wrong by doing adding these two and then dividing it by 9, and that is not how it should go. So when it is a bunch of numbers with different operations, you must use the order of operations. So again, bunch of different numbers, bunch of different operations. I have to use please excuse my dear Aunt Sally on this. So I'm going to do that now. So first, any parentheses? Yes, there is. So we're going to do everything within the parentheses, which is 15. Then I have my students bring everything else down that they did not use so it doesn't get too cluttery. So bring everything else you did not use. I did not use the plus or the 10 yet. All right, so then any more parentheses? Nope, that's done. Any exponents? Nope, that is done. Any multiplication or division? Well, yes, I do see a division sign and each number on either side. How many 5s go into 15? That would be a 3. Then plus 10. So then now I'm done with all addition, multiplication and division. So then last is addition and subtraction, which comes out to be 13 is my final answer. By the way, this is what they use up at the middle school. They call it a tornado format, where it just kind of looks kind of like a tornado and it comes down and it becomes the answer at the bottom. And they do use that often. So I do use that as well to keep everything kind of set up correctly. All right, this one, again, you are going to use please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So first thing you look for, second thing you look for, third thing you look for, fourth thing you look for. So here we go. The first one is any parentheses. Yes, we do. So this is 3 times 2 is 6. Then you bring everything else down you did not use, which was the minus 9. And over here is the plus 8. Then next thing, any more parentheses? No. Any exponents? No. Any multiplication or division? No. Any addition or subtraction? Yes. Now remember, it is whichever comes first. So what is the first thing that we come to? We have both a subtraction and an addition sign. So whichever comes first. So what comes first? Going left to right as if I'm reading this is a subtraction sign. So that comes first. And this is where a lot of people go wrong, because they think that since aunt means addition is before Sally, that all addition has to happen, then subtraction last, and that is a false statement. So be careful of this. So all subtraction and addition, whichever comes first, is the last step. So since subtraction is first, we have to do that. So what is 9 minus 6? It would be 3. And then we do the last step, which is an addition in this case, which is 11. So your answer is an 11. All right, now it says here we're going to, again, evaluate this using, again, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Also, if you need to, you could obviously put this on another piece of paper. I don't care about that. You may do that as well. So first thing, please, which is parentheses. Oh, I do see that. So when I do that, it comes out to be 53. Then bring everything else down you did not use. All right, so is there any more parentheses? No. Any exponents? No. Any multiplication or division? And then yes, there is a multiplication sign. So we're going to do that, which is 40, and bring everything else down. And then when you subtract it, which is the last step, it would be 13. All right, next. Same thing, a lot of different numbers with different symbols. So we have different operations. So we have to use the order of operations to solve this. So any parentheses? No. Any exponents? No. Any multiplication or division here? Yes. So there is a division over here. So when you divide out 5 into 100, so remember the 100 is listed first, so you put that one inside the box by 5. 5 can go into 1? No, it can't. How about into 10? Yes, twice. So when you subtract that, that would be 0. Check it. We are okay. Bring down your next number. How many 5s can go into 0? Now, guys, how many 5s can go into 0? It can't. It can go in only 0 times. So 0 times 5 is 0, which leaves us with 0 remaining. Our answer to this is 20. So there is 20. We're going to bring everything else down that we did not use. So then, is there any more multiplication or division? No. Any addition or subtraction? Yes, there is both, and whatever comes first, going left to right. In this case, it is an addition problem. So 17 plus 5 comes out to be 22. Then minus our 20. So minus 20. So 22 minus 20 is 2. So that is our answer. All right, next. Here, again, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. The first thing we look for is parentheses, and yes, there is 13. Then bring everything else down. And then any exponents, no. Multiplication, division, no. Any addition or subtraction, yes. So then we subtract, and then 6 minus 3 is 3, and then this is 2. So our answer is 23. All right, next. Again, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So the first thing is parentheses, which I do see that when you add those comes out to be 75 minus 125. And you have space over here. If you need to add that off to the side, please do that over here. And then what you're left with is only subtractions. So you know that you will have to subtract the rest of this. So 5 minus 5 is 0, and 12 minus 7 is 5. So your answer should have been 50. All right, now we're going to see more of these. Again, I would switch over to a pencil. I'm going to tell you that. So switch over to a pencil. You're going to rewrite this expression with parentheses to make it become a value of 14. So first, I'm going to guess, and I'm going to put it around here. And I'm going to see what that comes out to be. So 100 minus 30 comes out to be 70. Then divide by 5. And let's see what that comes out to be. I'm going to do that over here. 70 goes in the box, 5 goes on the outside. 5 can go into 7 one time. That is 5. That would be a 2. Bring down your 0. How many 5s go into 20? That would be 4. 4 times 5 is 20 with no remainder. So I was correct in saying that I think that the parentheses are going to be around there. Next, here I'm going to just guess. I'm going to say, let's try here and see if that works. So that would be 29, then minus 3 times 2. So now I'm going to have to multiply next. So because that would be the next thing I would do, I can't just subtract first before multiplying. So then I'm going to have a 6 here and then 29 here. So 29 minus 6, oh, comes out to be 23. Perfect. So I was right in saying that. So there was another good one. All right, next I'm going to just guess again here. I'm going to say, let's try this. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So if I did this and brought it all down, this would be now 10 plus 2 is 12. Oh, that is too big. That's not going to work. So then I'm going to try another one. So if I did this, that would be 14 divided by 5. Oh, that's weird. You can't go into that. So is it possible that I could go like this and see what this comes out to be, which 5 plus 2 does come out to be 7. So then 7, how many 7s go into 14 is 2. So this is the one of the ones that have 2 things that are needed on that. All right, next. Here we go. The next one is each pitcher of a power smoothie that Ginger makes has 2 scoops of pineapple, 3 scoops of strawberries, and 1 scoop of spinach and 1 scoop of kale. If Ginger makes 7 pitchers of this smoothie, how many scoops will she need in all? So here is one of those things again. It's saying 1 pitcher, 1 batch of this power smoothie doesn't just need 2 scoops of pineapple, but it needs 3 scoops of strawberries and 1 scoop of spinach and another scoop of kale. So that's just for 1. So let's make that up for 1. So in 1, I'm going to put parentheses around saying that this is just making 1. We need 2 scoops of pineapple plus 3 scoops of strawberries plus 1 scoop of spinach and then another scoop of kale. So we need all of that just to make up 1. And does she only want 1? No, she wants to make 7 pitchers of this. So what could you have done? You could have times it by 7 over here, or you could have did 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 1, and then did the times 7 on this side. It truly does not matter. And then it says, write and evaluate the numerical expression containing parentheses. So this is again for 1. So we have to do parentheses first. So you have to add up all of this. 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1. That comes out to be 7. Then you're going to times it by 7. So that would be 49 scoops. All right, now this one says the value of this with parentheses can either have a value of 14 or 94. That looks very familiar. I think we did one of those, and we did. Look up here. So when we put the parentheses around the 100 minus 30, it came out to be a total of 14. So now let's reverse it and see what happens if we put the parentheses around here. So that would have been a 6 minus and then 100. So 100 minus 6 is going to give you 94. So the value with parentheses can of this with parentheses can change up the value. All right, so we're going to say when the parentheses are around the 100 minus 30, it then divided by 5 equals 14. But when you change the parentheses, and do 100 minus 30 divided by 5, it will force you to do this part first, which then comes out to be 94. So yes, the parentheses does change up the order on, and what could be, the number could be equal to as well. So it's very important that you know putting the parentheses in the right area is very important. All right, next thing. The next thing here, it says a movie theater has 4 groups of seats. The largest group of seats is in the middle, has 20 rows with 20 seats in each row. There are 2 smaller groups on the sides, each with 20 rows of 6 seats in each row. And then a group of seats in the back with 5 rows with 30 seats in each row. How many seats are in this movie theater? So they want to know what do you need to know? How many seats? That's what we need to find. So what operation can you find for the group that's in the back? So now we have to go back in and say, okay, the group in the back here is 5 rows with 30 in each row. So what could you do to figure that out? Well, you could do 5 times 30, or 30 plus 30 plus 30 plus 30 plus 30 5 times. So, but the fastest way would just be timesing them. So what operation could you use to find that is multiplication. And then you could have wrote 5 times 30. Next, what operation could you use to find both groups of the side seats? So there were 2 smaller ones, and then each one was a 20 by 6. But there's not just one, there is 2 of those. So in this case, what could you use? You could use multiplication again. So I would do 20 times 6 to find out 1. This is just one of the sides. But how many sides are there? There are 2 that are the same. So I'm going to just say times 2 over here. That is what I could do. What operation could you use to find just the middle group? Well, the middle was up here. The middle is 20 with 20. So it is a 20 by 20. So you could use multiplication again. And then they wanted you to find what the answer to this was. Well, you would have to put all these expressions together. So when I am trying to figure out the seats for all of this, I would have to add this and this and this and this all together. So therefore, in order to do this, I'm going to rewrite this. The first one was 5 by 30. So this is the back. I'm going to take the back. I'm going to add it to the sides, 2 sides. Remember, there's 2 sides. And then plus the middle to find out what that would bring us. So this is the back plus the 2 sides. Remember the 2 sides, we already put this in here. It was 20 times 6 in parentheses. Then you would times it by 2. Then plus the 20 by 20. All right, so here we go. In order to do this, they want us now to see how many seats are in the theater, show your steps to solve this. So this, again, was for the back. So we're going to find this out by how many zeros are at the end. There is only 1. So here is 1. And then 5 times 3 is 15. Remember, since parentheses do come first, you must do all the parentheses first. So then that was 150. Now we're going to do this one. How many zeros are at the end? There's only 1. That leaves you with 6 times 2, which is 120. But then we have the times 2. So we're just going to bring that on down. Then the plus, and then the middle section is how many zeros are at the back? There's 2. and then that leaves you with 2 times 2, which is 400. So then we have this. So now we have to do please excuse my dear Aunt Sally again. So please, there's no more parentheses. There is no exponents, my dear Aunt and Sally. So now no exponents. So then any multiplication, yes, there is. So here is where we have to multiply next. And 120 times 2 is 10 at the end, and then 2 times 12 is 24. Then we add in all the rest that we did not use. So then they're all addition. So since they're all addition now, it doesn't really matter what order we put them in. We can just add them all up. By the way, I'm not doing 14, so I'm just going to show my work right in here. So 400, and then 240, and then 150. I'm going to add this all up. That would be a 0. This is going to be 9. 5 plus 4 is 9. And then that is 6 plus 1 is 7. So that would be 790 seats. And then it says show the steps. I did show the steps. I showed what I did, bringing it down as I was doing it. All right, next it says Rosalie evaluates this expression right here. Rosalie's first step should be what? So I want you to try this really for quickly. I want you to do that first. Stop it and then see if you got this one right. All right, so you should have stopped and now we can go over. So again, you should have done please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So the first step is looking for parentheses. There are none. So we're going to check that off. Any exponents? Nope. Any multiplication or division? Yes, there is. There is a multiplication. So therefore, the first step should be to multiply. And that's what you should have done. All right, next. This is your homework. Again, I want you to write up at the top. The first step is please, which is parentheses. The second step is looking for any exponents. So that's please excuse. The exponents are right here. Please excuse. The third step is looking for all multiplication and division. So my dear, all multiplication and division, whichever comes first. Going left to right as if you're reading. Then the fourth thing you do is all addition and subtraction, Aunt Sally. So my dear, and then Aunt Sally is last, which is all addition and subtraction. Again, whichever comes first. Going left to right as well. All right, so I am going to do some with you real quick. I'm going to do number 2 with you. So here, and you guys can do this off to the side on each one. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Any parentheses? Well, yes, there is. It is 32 minus 20. Well, 32 minus 20, if you can't see that, then go off to the side somewhere and do that. 2 minus 0 is 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. So that comes out to be 12. Then you bring down everything else, which now you just have division. So how many 4s go into 12 would be 3. Your answer to that is 3. You will have 3 for homework. You will have 4 for homework. All right, next. we are going to go and, oh, you are going to have 5 for homework. I'm going to help you with 6. Again, I'm going to switch over to my pencil because we are going to go and try to get 4. So here I'm going to try doing this first. So 6 divided by 2, that is 3. Then I'm going to times it by 2, then add 1. This is 6 now, plus 1 is 7. Oh, that is too high, so that's not right. So now I'm going to try putting it around here. So let's see if this works. So 6 times 2 is 12. And if you bring everything else down, then what this is that one would be, my 2's go into 12, that is 6, but then plus 1 is 7 again. So that's not going to work either. But we have 12. Could I have wrapped it around this as well and got 3 divided by 12? And yes, you could have, and it would have given you your 4. So actually on this one, not only did you have 1, you should have had 2 to do. Next, I'm going to do this one with you. I'm going to just guess here, and I'm going to put it, let's try putting it around here. Let's see if that works. So I'm going to put 6 plus 5 minus 6. So this one would be 11. Remember, we have addition and subtractions, whichever comes first. So it's 11 minus 6 is 5. That is not what I wanted, so that's not right. So now I'm going to come and do that again. I'm going to try now. How about let's try around here. 5 plus 3 is 8 times 2 minus 6. So now we do multiplication first, next, because of, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So that would be 16 minus 6, and that does equal 10. So perfect, that's what I wanted. So therefore the parenthesis would go right around the 5 plus 3. So I'm just going to leave it right here saying that's my final answer. And you could do the same thing here. And if you want to rewrite it down here, this down here, and then play around with it, and then say your final answer up here, you can. That is truly how you, whatever you want to do. All right, then we are going to do number 8 together. So Sandy has several pitchers to hold lemonade for a school bake sale. 2 pitchers can hold 64 ounces each, and then 4 pitchers can hold 48 ounces each. How many total ounces can the pitchers hold? All right, so here the biggest thing to remember is it says she has different pitchers. So there's 2 of them that can hold 64 ounces. And then the other thing says, and she has 4 pitchers that can hold 48 ounces each. So you could have done 2 times 64 to show that first set of pitchers. And then the next set is 4 pitchers can hold 48. So you could have put those together. So then how much would you know total? Or what you would do after you found out what these would be, you would add them. So real quick, I'm just going to figure out the answers to this. So it'll be 64 times 2 first. So that comes out to be 8 and 12. So that would be 128 for that. Plus over here, I have to do this because it's in parentheses. So that would be 32, carry your 3. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 3 is 19. And then the thing that we did not use, the addition sign yet, so now we have to add these. So 192 plus 128. 8 plus 2 is 10, carry your 1. then this is 10 plus 2 is 12, carry your 1, and then that would be 3. So that would be 320 ounces. All right, you are going to do number 9 from homework, and then on the back, on the back, you are going to do 1 and 2, 3. We're going to do 4 together, but I do want you to do 5 and 6 as well. All right, we're going to do 4 together. So it says June has 42 sports books, 85 mystery books, and 69 nature books. And she rearranges the books equally on 7 shelves. How many books are on each shelf? All right, so first of all, she has all these books, and then she's going to put them on 7 different shelves. So what you should do first is you should be adding up all the books that she has total, because these are all the books. So she's going to take all the books, so we're going to add up all the books. Then once we do that, then we are going to divide it by 7. So let's first add up all the books here. That's 42, then 69, then 85. So when you add, this one would be 11 plus 5 is 16, so a 6, carry your 1. Then this is 10, plus 8 is 18, plus 1 is 19. So 196 divided by 7. So now we're going to be able to divide this out. Remember, the first number goes into the box, second number goes on the outside. Can 7 go into 1? No. Can at least one 7 go into 19? Yes, it can go in twice. So 2 times 7 is 14, and that would be a 5. Check it, we are okay. Write down your 6. How many 7s go into 56? That would be 8, because 8 times 7 is 56 with nothing remaining. So therefore, our answer is how many books are on each shelf? That would be 28 books are on each shelf. And that is your answer. All right, and then I'm going to stop this video, and then I'm going to come back and do your chapter review. Please do the chapter review first before I check it. There are some things that I do want you to cross out because it's not 5th grade standards. Number 1 would be one of them, but I do want you to try this on your own. Number 2. Then the next one is number 5. You're going to cross out. And the rest of those are good. You will be okay with those. Then I want you to cross out number 10, but just a little bit because we are still going to go over it. It's just don't worry about trying to do that on your own. That's probably a difficult one. And then you're going to cross out number 14. Just the part A to that. Oops, I'm sorry. Just the part A. The part B, we are going to go over. On this one, the one thing I want you to cross out is how can you solve this in a simpler problem? You're going to cross that part out. And then the last thing over here is talking about a distributive property. Remember, that's not a 5th grade standard, so I'm taking that part out. And then the last page is good. Everything you can do with that as well. So I do want you to try that before we go over it. So try it on your own, see how you would have done, and then go back and check your answers with my video. and see how it was. So I do want you to try this on your own before you check that video on all the answers and see how you are doing on it. I am not going to be doing a chapter 1 test on this right now, maybe later down the road, but not now. So I'm not going to do chapter 1 test yet. That could be later on if I decide to do it later. And I'm definitely not going to do a chapter 2 test yet either. And we're going to go into chapter 2 next week. So please look at the video after you go over this on your own, and then check it with your how well you did with the answers. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.